the ridge I'm getting ready to climb. From here up to there. It's Lehigh Gap in Pennsylvania. It's all rocks. And it's considered the most dangerous ridge line on the AT in Pennsylvania. Ought to be interesting. At least I'm doing it on a sunny day instead of a rainy one.
Will then get you down to this one. That's where you want to get to. So
That's fine.
What city is this? Is this Palmerton?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so.
Is that the zinc pile or the Superfund pile?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this. I never saw this.
Gotta dry my tent out before I can put it up. It rained so much yesterday, it got soaked. And it's been wet all day in my pack, or on the back of my pack. So now's a good time to dry it out before I pitch. And this will be my view in the morning, with the exception of the sun will be rising in the east. It's not setting in the west. We might see both a good sunrise and a good sunset here. A little fire ring here to keep us happy. Myself and a hiker named Medic, Corman from the Navy.
No, listen. Oxygen feeds fire underneath.
I understand how fire works, but this.
Can you please quiet down? We're in nature.
You have no tinkling. You're not supposed to light it like that. Like, no, there's something that.
I'm in my tent. Mr. Porcupine just came to pay me a visit.
Okay, brother.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Andrew.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning from the Andrew from the Not Today Not Today hostel.
Not today, hostel. Still thinking of names.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm in Delaware Water Gap right now. Spent the night at a budding hostel. Let's call it that. Andrew, trail name Not Today, who had hiked from Amicalola to Palmerton, Pennsylvania this year, got off trail, decided to turn his house that's here in Delaware Water Gap, or near it anyway, into a hostel. So he's slowly building a hostel essentially out of his house. I stayed there, and another hiker named Jellybean stayed there. Jellybean's skipping ahead to Katahdin and will be coming southbound, so I may run into him somewhere in Vermont. Today I'll cross into New Jersey, followed by the 1,300 mile mark, followed by a visit to the Mohican Outdoor Center, and then back into the woods. So I've got a little bit of city walking to do. Got to cross a bridge today, and I'm not sure exactly where I'm going just yet. Well, there's the place. It's kind of interesting when you're in a city, walking across bridges and getting from one place to the other is a little bit more, well, a little more interesting than it is in the woods. In the woods, it's a pretty easy trail here. A little noisier. Crossing the Delaware River from Pennsylvania into New Jersey. 1,300. This is Sunfish Pond. I would definitely take a swim in here, but I've been told it's very acidic and not to swim in it, and if possible not to drink from it, even filtered water. Apparently there's only one kind of fish that lives here, and or something like that. I don't know. One way or the other, it's a shame to pass up a beautiful place like this, but this is where the trail goes. I mean, I've got that on one side, this lake on the other, and I've got to cover these rocks to get around this mile-long lake. My first bear. You can see him from here, straight across. Where is he?
Oh my gosh, he's right in the water. Come on, oh my God, let's go.
Out there.
Honey, come on. Is it dead battery dead? No, it's completely biting out there. Are you still there? Yes.
This is New Jersey. See that shoreline over there? Right there, maybe right over there. I think that's the Jersey Shore. I'm at the Mohican Outdoor Center in New Jersey. Got into New Jersey today. And the reason I came here, I had shipped ahead a pair of shoes. Here's a shoe situation, and I want everybody to understand why I had to do what I did. I had gotten some wonderful Lone Peak 4.5s to replace my Ultra Olympus. These were from Kathy Theroff. They were wonderful. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it. I love these shoes. I wore them from Boiling Springs to Port Clinton. And in Port Clinton is where the rocks get really ugly. And these are, I'm talking mutant rocks, okay? These rocks don't even make sense in Pennsylvania. Northern Pennsylvania rocks, you can't build anything. You can't make a pile of rocks out of the rocks in northern Pennsylvania. They are just the most absurd pyramids and blades of rocks, and they're strewn about in such a fashion that you have to stumble through them. You can't walk on them. And certainly I've been warned by several people that the Lone Peaks would not hold up because their rock plate is not solid enough for those kinds of rocks. The rocks would just shred these things to pieces. It's like they took shovels and buried them handle down and you're walking on the blades. So heeding the warning of several people, and I went and took a shuttle to the Cabela's in Hamburg, Pennsylvania, and I bought these Merrill Moab ventilators, Merrill Moab ventilators, solid rock plate, okay? These things hardly bend at all. There's no flexibility in this. So you can walk on the tops of the bladed rocks and these mutant piles of Legos and it not tear your feet to pieces. The downside is these don't grip a wet boulder nearly as well as the Lone Peaks. The Lone Peaks are much better at gripping a wet boulder. So I was sliding all over the rocks, the boulder scrambles with these things. Turns out that I found out that they had just cleaned graffiti off of the boulders on 3 of the ridge lines that gave me the biggest problem. I was sliding all over the thing. You know what they call the solution that they use to clean the graffiti off of those boulders? It's called elephant snot. You got that? Elephant snot. And the whole time I was on it, I was thinking, this is slicker than a snot on a doorknob. No, it was elephant snot. That's what they call the solution that breaks down the paint that gets rid of the graffiti. So, these were not holding up well on the big boulder scrambles, but they did great on the sharp, shredding rocks. these will do awesome on those boulders, even with elephant snot, I'm told. So this is the rock, this is the shoe that you want on the big boulder scrambles. Well, now that I'm out of Pennsylvania, these shoes, these Merrells, did their job getting me through Pennsylvania and into the first 10 miles of New Jersey. And I had shipped these ahead so I could make a decision when I got here as to which ones I was going to use. So I've chosen to go back to these based on the advice of everybody that's here, that going forward, gripping on larger boulders is going to be more important than these small shredding rocks. So I don't need the Merrells anymore. I'm going back to the ones that Kathy Thoroff sent me, and these Lone Peaks will carry me forward from here. Again, I'm about 10 miles into New Jersey at this point, and I'm headed, I'll be here for maybe another 30, 40 miles, and then I'll be in New York, and then Connecticut, and Massachusetts, and blah, blah, blah. So we'll see how far these go. I've already done about 100 miles on them, and I love them. So thank you again, Kathy. And these are gonna go home, and I will save them for another day. I had a storm blow through last night, and but it was all north of me. I mean, it never even rained where I was. But I'm encountering, this is about the 7th or 8th blowdown. This one's pretty big, right in the middle of the trail. So you gotta kind of figure out how to get around it. It's not that big a deal, but it just surprises me that it was this bad, literally 8 miles north of where I was last night. And I never even got rained on. I heard it, I saw the lightning, I heard the thunder, I felt the wind, but nothing really ever happened at my tent site. I was at the Mohican Outdoor Center camping, but that's just one of several that I've come across. So there's been a lot of blowdown from last night's storm, and it's been thundering all day. Now I know Elsa hit Florida yesterday, and its remnants of it is due up here late tonight or tomorrow, I'm told. So we'll start seeing rain. It rained about 10 minutes an hour ago, just enough to make you want to put on your rain jacket, and then it stops. That's how it works. Put your rain jacket on, the rain stops. Take your rain jacket off, the rain starts. It's really kind of funny. I hope it's not going to be as bad as they say it is. I just saw a bear, a big one. It came down out of here, went that way and ran. And then it turned left off the trail. Not sure where. Definitely didn't want anything to do with me. I guess I was moving a little too fast. It was close. That's bear number 2. Thank you, New Jersey. You rock. You rock the bears. Another blowdown to negotiate. And cut through here. Go around it. Just avoid the poison ivy, I'm sure is here. It's all fresh stuff. This last night was a storm, and apparently a couple nights prior, but a lot of the blowdown is green, so it's very, very fresh.